Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Thunder, and this is gonna be the fourth video of this Revival game tutorial series. I'm sorry that this video has taken so long, but I lost some of the footage the first time I recorded it. So, besides, it was about an hour and a half long, so anyways, I would have to scrap it. So what we're gonna do instead is, I already have written the code, so I'll leave the code down in the description, and you guys just have to copy it and paste it. But we do have to do a couple more things. So first thing we're gonna do, go to your scripts folder, go to inventory, and go to your slot script. And down here on the update function, right over here, between is empty and the set active, we're going to do one more thing that we forgot about. It's gonna be icon dot sprite, actually, yeah, that's sprite, equals data dot icon. Because otherwise, when we update our script, it's just gonna show empty, so it won't really matter. And down here in the stack text, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do stack text dot text equals. Then we're gonna put a money sign and two quotes. So the money sign, what it basically allows you to do is to put variables inside the string. So we're going to go ahead and do the following. It's gonna be x, then we're gonna put brackets, and we're gonna do stack size. Okay, stack size, there we go. Now just save it. Actually, no, there we go. Just save it. And then down here, we're gonna make a public void drop. And what we're gonna do is we're going to do inventory manager. Actually, no. Get component in parent. Inventory manager dot drop item, and inside the parentheses we're gonna put this because it's gonna take a slot class. It's gonna give you an error because we still haven't created this function, but we will in a moment. Now go back to Unity, and over here we're going to create a couple of items which I've already created, but I'll show you how to do it. Let's just wait for it to compile. So let's go to scripts, not scripts, sorry, assets and items. Right here you can see I have a hatchet and stones. So to create this, just right click, go to create, survival game, inventory, and then new item. And you'll see your items right there. So for these two items, for the hatchet, I just named it hatchet because it's a hatchet. Then I put it over here, a hatchet icon that I downloaded from Google. Then description, again, this is not really related to the code. It's up to you how you want to do it. Then it's not stackable, and the max stack is 1. And for stones, what I did was same things but just a different icon. In this case, I just used the nub icon from Unity. Then the name, then the description, and then make it stackable, and the max stack make it 10. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our scripts player. We're gonna right click, create C# script, and we're gonna name it interaction handler. And now what we're gonna do is right over here, just delete this for now, and we're going to make a public float interaction range, which is going to be how far we can interact. I'm going to give it a distance of 2. Then down here we're going to make a public key code interaction key, and I'm going to make it be default to E. You can make it whatever you want. Anyways, you'll be able to change it from the Unity editor, so you'll be fine by leaving it like this. Now over here we're gonna do update, and down here we're gonna do interact. And no, sorry, public void, actually private void interact. And over here on update we're gonna do if input dot get key down interaction key, Then we do interact. This is just so we only interact when we press the E key and we're not constantly doing it. So next over here, we're going to make a raycast. A raycast is basically a invisible ray that you just shoot on a direction and it just hits instantly and you can gather information from the object you hit it. So this is useful for things like weapon systems, interaction systems, and many other ways that it can be used. For example, to check whether your player is on the ground or not, in case you're not using the built-in Unity character controller. But now let's get to the code. So first we're going to do raycast hit, which is where we'll store the information of our raycast. We're going to call it hit. Then down here we're going to do if parentheses physics dot raycast. Then we do another parenthesis, and inside here we're going to do transform dot position not parent. And then we're going to do comma transform dot forward. Then we'll do another comma. We're going to do out hit, which is basically saying that whatever information is gathered from the raycast will go into hit. Then we'll do a comma and we'll put the interaction range. Now do two more parentheses down here, and we're gonna do one more thing before we continue. Go back to Unity, and let's go ahead here in scripts, inventory, right click, and create a C# script. We're gonna call it pickup. Just do the first P lowercase and leave the P. Do it capital and the rest lowercase. We're gonna open it up, and all we're gonna do in here is public item SO data, and then we're gonna do public int stack size. So basically this is gonna be our class that holds the data of the items we drop, so when we pick it up we can access it and put it in our inventory. So now let's go back to our interaction handler, and over here we're gonna do pickup, and then we're gonna name it pickup equals hit.transform.getComponent not child .getComponent pickup. Then down here we're going to go ahead and check if pickup is not null, because we don't want to run this code unless pickup is not null, because otherwise we'll get an error and whatever we put below here won't go, like it will just stop right on here. So over here what we're gonna do is get component in parent. We're gonna do inventory manager dot add item, and inside here we're just gonna pass it pickup. Again, it will give you an error because we still haven't created that function. So now we're gonna go to our inventory manager, and right over here below generate slots we're gonna do two things. First, copy the pickup code that I left on the description on a text file. So just copy all of it and put it right in here, and that should be it. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Also do it too for the drop item function. So I'm gonna do that really quick, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright guys, so I already did it. We're going to have to change a couple of things. So over here, instead of pickup with a capital U, do a lowercase u. And same thing, okay, not down here. Over here, do it with a lowercase u. Alright, now save it, and same thing here. Okay, so we're getting a couple of errors right now because we're missing three things. So go back to your slot class, and over here below drop, we're going to create a public void clean, which is basically gonna empty our slot. And down here what we're gonna do is data equals null, stack size equals 0, and then we're gonna update our slot. Save it, go back to inventory manager, and you can see this error disappeared and some of the others did. Now we're gonna solve the one with these two variables. So go back up to your variables and right over here below the header, and I'm not sure if you guys have these headers, but you don't really need them, but I do recommend you add them because it's gonna keep everything more organized. So right here I'm gonna go ahead and do public game object drop model. So basically what this is gonna be is the model that will show once we drop an item. So you don't really need to add any scripts to it, as our code will do it automatically. So below drop model, go ahead and do public transform drop pause. This is the position where our item will drop from. Alright, so now yeah, that should be all. I'm just gonna make sure that everything's right over here. Yep. Alright, so let's go back into Unity. Okay, actually go back to the Visual Studio, and over here where we do get component and parent, instead of inventory manager, do window handler, and over here do dot inventory dot add item. So basically like this, how it is right now. And then now we can go back to Unity and let's do the setup. So over here, go to your models folder, create the folder lootables, and inside here make another, actually don't make any folder. I'm gonna leave you guys this folder with the drop model. You can use your own if you want, it's up to you, but I just made this model and I'll leave it for those of you who don't have a model to use. So over here we have the drop back model and the material and textures. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drag it in here. Actually, you'll have to create this material. So right click, create, and then go to material. Just name it however you want. Select the material and the texture that it will come on the folder. So you will only get these two files. The material, you'll drag the texture over to albedo. Then take the material and drag it to your model. As you can see, the model right now, it's pretty huge, as you can see on the screen right here. So I'm going to scale it down a little. That seems about right. Then over here, we're gonna do two things. So to your model, no matter which one you're using, go ahead and do add component and do mesh. I'm gonna use mesh collider, but you can use box collider if you want, and just modify it over here. You could just do this over here, and you can see you can just move it around however you want. Actually, let's do that instead. Yeah, it adapted perfectly to it, so it's fine. And then below it, we're gonna add component, and we're gonna select the rigid body component. The rigid body component is basically a physics component. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a mass of 20 pounds, and yeah, that should be it. Now left click on your drop bag, right click then, and do prefab that unpack completely. Now we're gonna go to assets, and I don't know if you have the prefabs folder. Actually, you should have it because this is locked. You can see I already have the prefab here, so I won't be importing it, but just drag the drop back over here and create the prefab. I'm not gonna do it again because I already have it created. Then go to your main camera, right click on it, and do create empty, and do drop position. This is gonna be where our items drop at. I'm going to move it a little bit forward because I don't want to get instantiated in the player position, inside the player, so I'm going to move it a little bit forward. Now go into your canvas and select all menus, and right over here we're going to drag our drop back prefab, And on the other one, we're gonna drag draw position. So right after you've done that, just go ahead over here in main camera, selected, go down here to add component and select and search up your interaction handler. Over here, this is for handling interactions. So now we're gonna do one more thing just to test everything out. We're gonna drag or drop back here and we're gonna multiply it a couple of times. Actually, before you multiply, go ahead and add the pickup component. You don't have to do this for the prefab you're putting on the inventory, because the code will automatically add this component and update it with the item data and stack size. But in this case, we want to manually do it because it's just for testing purposes. So over here, I'm gonna add the hatchet data, and I'm gonna put a stack size of 1. Then I'm gonna duplicate it and leave it like that. Then we will duplicate it a couple more times, but right now for this one, instead of hatchet, do stones to test our stacking system. Then this, I will give it a value of 8. Then the next one will, okay, wait, 8. Go ahead and select it again, Control C, Control V. Then I'll give it a value of 3. Then a value of 10. And then a value of, I don't know, 4, I guess. Now go ahead and save your scene. Just gonna drag this down here and hit play. As you can see, our inventory is empty, so we'll go ahead and try picking this up. You might have to crouch, we'll fix that in a moment, and you can see we got our hatchet right here with its icon and its stack size. Over here, if we pick it up again, there you go, it's not stacking because it's not a stackable item. So over here, you can see we got 8 stones, which is just a circle in this case. If I pick this up, it was 3, so 8 plus 3, 11, basic math. So we got 10 and 1 right here, because 10 is our max stack. If I pick this up again, you can see 10 and 1. And this one, you can just see 4. So that's pretty much it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fix a bug, because I'm pretty sure that this should be 5. I'm just gonna check really quickly. Yeah, we had 1 and this stack size is 4, so we should have 5. So go back to your code and go into slot. And back here, instead of equals on the add items to slot, we're gonna do plus equals. And now go back into Unity and let's test it out. So we're gonna do play. And let's go ahead and test this out. So you can see we got 8. Okay, don't do plus equals. So here's what we're gonna do. Go back and go back to equals. Then duplicate the function and rename it to add stack amount. And forget about the data. Delete that and also delete it over here. And right here do plus equals. Now go back to your inventory manager, and over here where, so if stackable slot is not equals null, if it can fit the picked up amount. Okay, so right here what we're gonna do is add stack amount. So it's where it says if it can fit the picked up amount. So find this. If pickup data that is stackable, then find this. If stackable is not equals null, and do this over here, which should have been like this. So just go ahead and do add stack amount, and over here delete the pickup.data. So let's save it and go back to Unity and make sure that it works. So let's go ahead and hit play. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this one up. You can see I got 8, and this one, you can see I got 11. Then this one, you can see I've got 21, and then when I pick up this one, 25. There you go. And if we pick this up again, you can see there's the 2 hatchets. So that's gonna be it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and comment down below. So for next tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're gonna add a hotbar so we can actually drag items and equip them, although we won't do in the item equipping until a later tutorial, because for that we're going to need more the weapon system, and we won't be doing that, I believe, until the 3 tutorials from now. So we're going to cover how to make a hotbar. Sorry guys, I had to stop the video for a moment. So as I was saying, we're gonna be making the hotbar, and we'll make it so we can drag items in here like hatchets and equip them. But we won't be making that until a couple of tutorials down the line, because basically the way it's gonna work, we're gonna need our weapon system, and we're not gonna be covering that until 3 tutorials from this one, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong, so might be a little bit more, but it's about that amount of tutorials from now. But on next tutorial, what we are going to do is we're going to make health items. So we can drag items over here, and if it's like a med kit, bandage, food, water, anything of that, we'll be able to just hit the key according to that slot, and we'll be able to just consume that, and it will affect us. So we will get less hunger, we'll get less thirst, and we'll get more health. And we are also gonna cover dragging and dropping, which is gonna be, it's not gonna take that long actually, but do expect next tutorial to be from 30 to 40 minutes. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, subscribe, hit the like button and comment. It really helps a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one.